Did you know that King Henry VIII had 6 wives? And did you also know that he had a son with each of them? Let us meet the women who bore the king's sons and see how they became the mothers of England as future monarchs. Henry VIII came to power in 1509 at the age of 17. His first wife was the Spanish princess Catherine of Aragon. They were married for over 24 years and together they had one son, Prince Henry, Duke of Cornwall, who died in 1536 at the age of 52. You may be wondering how come all the official royal websites say that she only had one child, but the king actually had a second son with her who was born after the first Henry and was named after him. The little prince was legitimized by Parliament and held the title of Baron Southampton until his death at age 36, after the king's first wife failed to produce a legitimate male heir. Henry began searching for a new bride. He set his sights on Anne Boleyn, a lady-in-waiting to his deceased wife. She caught the king's eye, and he was so infatuated that he decided to marry her secretly in January 1533. The wedding was kept a secret until the moment when the king publicly announced it. When the time came, the royal court was informed of the marriage, and the country was thrown into chaos. The king's desire to marry Anne was so strong that he broke with the Roman Catholic Church and annulled his marriage to Catherine, which had been blessed by the Pope, in order to marry Anne. Soon after, Anne gave birth to a baby girl, Elizabeth, who was declared illegitimate and stripped of her royal titles. The king wanted a male heir, and since Anne couldn't give him one, he decided to get rid of her. On May 19, 1536, Anne was charged with adultery and other crimes and was found guilty the same day. That night, she was taken to the Tower of London, where she awaited her execution. On May, Anne stepped onto the execution block and put her head on the chopping block. As the executioner raised his axe, she closed her eyes and turned her face slightly to the left. The axe fell and Anne's head rolled to the ground. Henry married his third wife, Jane Seymour, just 11 days after Anne's execution. And finally, she gave him the son he had been longing for, King Edward VI. But unfortunately, Jane died 12 days after giving birth. The king's fourth wife was Anne of Cleves, a German princess who he had never met before their wedding. Henry was so infatuated with her portrait that he chose to marry her without having ever seen her. But when he first laid eyes on her, he was very disappointed. Her looks didn't match her portrait, and he quickly grew to dislike her. For months after the wedding, Henry had her secretly divorced so he could marry one of his former mistresses, Catherine Howard. The newlyweds enjoyed a brief period of happiness together, but it was short-lived. Catherine was accused of adultery and treason and was executed in February 1542. And here we are at Henry's last wife, Catherine Parr. She outlived the king and is the only wife to have survived him. Catherine was a smart and savvy woman who knew how to stay in the king's good graces. She took care of him during his illness, and after he had an appendix operation, she nursed him back to health. Henry appreciated her dedication and affection, and he died believing that Catherine was the only one who truly loved him. So there you have it, the 6 wives of King Henry VIII and the sons they gave him. If you want to learn more about the Tudors, stay tuned for more videos.